Howdy y'all, here we are, another Saturday. Main goal today is to take this tubing and this little doohickey here and make a water level and see if I can level this house out. If I don't get it completely level, is just to get this water level working to see how far off we are. I mean, it's not that bad. I know that corner over there is probably lower than this corner. I'm just assuming that the back end is lower than the front end, but I don't really know. So we'll see how far off or on I am, and then getting the bump out level is a pretty crucial step too. So we'll get to work on that and see how it does. All right, here we are near the front end of the house, and I got the water bucket here, and yeah, I just set it up and it's actually pretty much level with where I need it, you know, where I want the base to be. I just threw it under here and the water level looked just about right. So, you know, I'll go bring it to the end, kind of clamp it to where I want it to measure, come back up here, make sure the water is good, or if I need to add or take some away. But anyway, so yeah, so we got the tube that goes out here, wiggles around there. I don't think any of the spots that are, you know, curled upwards or any higher than the base here, but we'll go down to the end there and see where it's at. Okay, let's check it out. So I got the tube coming down through here, and we'll come to 66 feet, or 66-ish feet down to the end here to see what we got. And yeah, she ain't level. It ain't insanely bad, but let's see how many inches we got here. Yeah, so we're sitting there, and put the tape measure to it, and we're sitting about 4 inches. So yeah, about 4 inches low on the back side, so over 60 something feet. Not too crazy, but yeah, we'll put a couple more blocks here. Maybe I'll take all this stuff out and put a cinder block in, and then we'll go from there. But let's check the other ones. All right, I moved over to the other side in the back here, and it looks like, yeah, we're sitting just under 4 inches over here. So this side might be up compared to the other side by what, 1/16 of an inch, maybe 2/16, but that's pretty good. So now we'll work our way. I'll go probably check out the bump outs next. All right, I didn't make my way to the bump outs yet. there's the front and the back there. So we're a little bit less than halfway. And I expect it to be 2 inches if everything was even Steven, you know, in the slope. But right here, looks like we're just at a quarter or 1 inch and about 1/8 or so, maybe a quarter. I'd expect it to be about 1.5 inches where I'm at, but so my guess is there's some wave in the frame. And that's the thing too, it's like, all right, I'm 4 inches down at the back. Do I just lift it up in the back and then expect it to be off of all this, which I doubt, so you probably have some flex. So my guess is maybe coming about this far and then jacking it up an inch, and then steadying everything from there to here, and then maybe go 3/4 of the way back and then to the back end. So anyway, we'll find out. But now I gotta crawl through here to get to the bump out. Okay, I lied. The bump outs are down there, and I can't get an accurate measurement because I'm going off the base of this right there, and there is none of that at the end of the bump outs. I have to measure off of the rim joists, so I'll redo that later. So we're over here in the front end, and remember, I don't know if you've seen in my other videos, this floor up here, I could tell that it was way off. And yeah, we're about just over 1 inch, because there is the base of it, and we're just across from it. And if this was level, this would be here, but it's there. So yeah, we'll raise this up an inch, and this will probably be obviously the first one that I tackle. So we'll get that done. Uh-oh, what have I done? I started lifting things. Opened a can of worms. Now I'm in it. So yeah, I just lifted it up just slightly above by about a 3/8 of an inch or so above where it needs to be, so that I can get this out of here, get it out of here, and put some good stuff on there, and then, you know, have some space to work with, and then lower it back down. And it actually, you know, this one is higher than the blocks. That one, so the next two, I think the third one is on the block, so we'll probably have some dip in the metal frame, or it's actually level down there. We'll find out when I get to that point. But for now, we'll work on this bad boy, and I even opened a gap up there, and that's just a couple railroad ties there. But at some point, I'm gonna dig those out of there and put some cinder blocks and plastic up there so water doesn't come in underneath from the street. Obviously, there's gonna be plastic all underneath here and skirting and all that good stuff, but for now, we'll just work on that. Yeah, and whose idea was it to close this floor up before I started working on stuff like this? Craziness. Fire that guy. Alrighty, looks like I got this side level. It's about where the other side is, I believe. And I just put a couple new pieces of cement up here. I think there was just wood there before. Yeah, it was a piece of plywood and these shims. And so now I just removed the plywood and put those 2 cement blocks there, and then put the shims in. And I did the same here. There was only 1 cinder block here, so I got 2 cinder blocks. Then there was 2 layers of 2x8s and then shims. So I replaced it and actually doubled up the cinder blocks, put 2 cement blocks, and then 1 layer of 2x6, and then the shims. Sorry. And yeah, so I think these 2 are good. And yeah, I wasn't really prepared for this all that much because I didn't know how many cinder blocks I needed and all that kind of stuff. So today I'm going to take note of that. Plus, I don't know, you know, it's a cement runner down here. It's covered in garbage right now, but a lot of these are, you know, straight up and down, but this one here is obviously angled. So I don't know if that's kosher, if I have to get this leveled up with cement at the bottom, or if I can just use shims of wood at the bottom. And it's like, well, if I doubled up with the cinder blocks, I'm only using 2 shims. So do I need shims here too to space out the pressure? Like, especially on this one, there's only 1, you know, set of shims in the middle there. So anyway, I got to figure out how that is done properly. So here I'm going back to the high point to level it up, and then put caps on the top of the cinders, and then put shims in there to, you know, level it out again, which actually raised it. So the left side that I thought I leveled is now lower. But, you know, it's a learning process, and I'm just going through it and showing you guys what I did. So we'll get back to that another point. All right, so I think we got it set for the high point here now, finally. So I did just move these blocks. I put a little dirt here and rocks to kind of level it out. It's almost level, but not perfect. So what I'm going to do, because I did put the boards in the middle here, and it kind of cracked this right here, so I knew there was too much pressure off kilter. So I decided to put 2 shims here. I don't have any new shims with me. I bought some, but they were way overpriced. I'm going to take them back. But when I get more shims, I'll hammer a couple in on this side, so we'll have 2 on each side. Technically, only have to have 1 pair in the middle, but since it's, like I said, it's a little off kilter, we'll put pressure on both of these. But this will be the starting point for height. It's definitely way up on this one. I did take the shim out of that one, so I think I can put a 4x4 cement block there, and then maybe a 2x4 or 2x8 or whatever, and then shims. I won't shim this one up because, like I said, I borrowed the shims off of that one. The next one's still off above it, so what I'll do is just, secure that one with the shims pressed up really hard so that when I come back with new shims, I'll just hammer them in there. So I think it'll be okay to do it that way, but we'll move on. All right, so there's a second one in, and I had a 6-inch wide cinder block there. I bought like 4 of those for some reason, and then found out per HUD guidelines they have to be 8-inch wide cinder blocks, and so I just swapped it out. And then we're working on the next one down here, and I bought these jacks used, and they just gave me a little stick to use to jack them up, and it broke. So then I swapped over to the wrench that I was using to, tighten the pressure knob. And yeah, they just wore me out because that's not the tool to use. Need something longer, and I'm taking a break there because it wore me out. Yeah, just getting closer to the far end here, and yeah, still working on the left side here, and it's weird. You lift up one section and it goes off the blocks for quite a while, so just an interesting learning process. That was weird. I just went inside to grab this tape measure and this guy, and whoa, my equilibrium went way off. It was like I was in a sinking ship one side of the house because I've only done this side. I worked on this side, so the other side is like super low, so it just felt awkward in there. But we're just gonna measure here. I got it just above level on the very back end here, so that I can put the stuff in there and then lower it obviously onto it. But we want to see how far it changed. All right, so here's how far we had to come up in the very back end, about 4 3/4 inches, just under when I put the right when I set it down. So not too bad, but wow, it's all wonky up and down as it goes. This is more complicated than I thought. Or not really complicated, just more of a pain. And these blocks are heavy, so I'm gonna be worn out. Oh, well that's great, brand new block. All right, so I've kind of finished this one, and then I think I pushed one up on the left side, and then so this back corner here is going to sit a little higher than it should, but we'll talk about that here in a second. All right, this is the back, we'll say the left corner. Top front right is where I got the original level, and it looks like we're pretty good here. It looks like we're actually up about 1/4 inch, which surprised me because it was just kind of sitting here. So, yeah, well, I figured I might have pushed that one a little higher. I don't know, or there's just like a bend in the frame here. I don't know. This has been a little bit more tricky than I thought it was going to be, and so much more tiring than I thought it'd be, but that's because these blocks are not light, and then pushing the 12-ton jack, not very easy either, so getting quite the workout. But yeah, so I've got this one, that one of them up there, this one, and this one solid. I'll do one more solid on the other side of the bump out, and then the very front one up there, and then I just don't have enough cinder blocks and 4-inch blocks to make it perfect. But yeah, we'll just get in like every other third block secure, and then this weekend we'll come here with more inventory of blocks and hopefully get this thing done. But nice to have it mostly level. All right, sorry for the abrupt ending there, but I was done for the day. You could hear it in my voice. I was just exhausted. I think I did end up going with putting blocks in one more section in the front end before I left, though. But I was out of cinder blocks and capstones, so the next time I came out, I did bring a ton of those. And so we'll hopefully just have one more episode on this aspect of the project and get you guys caught up on that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, like and subscribe to follow me on this adventure. I appreciate it. And anyway, hope you all are doing well, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.